just say your name for the public.
Sure. Everybody, my name is Ryan Hastings. I am the current Borough Council President. Obviously, I'm here with my colleague David Lee Robinson, our mayor, our chief. Public safety wise, I want to give flowers to our chief of police. Thank you, chief, for restarting the abandoned vehicles, getting them off our streets. It is very noticeable. I'm sure the people of Pusey Avenue and around Cherry Street, around Hillside are going to be very appreciative that a whole bunch of cars have gotten moved. And a public service announcement to our general public. The police are going around and they are going to be checking vehicles to make sure that they're legally on our streets, meaning that they,
Code enforcement.
and our code enforcement has been also identifying the vehicles that need to be moved. If your vehicle is on the streets and it's not legally registered with the state, properly up on all of its tires, properly inspected, that includes the emission sticker, that you will be getting a notice. If you think that just moving the vehicle somewhere else in Collingdale is going to miraculously make that go away, it's not. Our chief of police is on the ball. And we have expanded our support network of tow companies, local tow companies, right here operating out of Collingdale. And that's a first in a long time. So please tell your neighbors out there, that's everybody's mission. Hey, the police are going around and getting abandoned and not registered, not insured vehicles off our streets. And I'm very appreciative of Chief Mitchell's leadership in that. And I thank the council for their support on, bridging and opening the communications up, especially the chairman of the Public Safety Committee, David Lee Robinson, and Keisha Williams and Stacey Calhoun for staying plugged in with our police, and hopefully we're improving our communications. With that, will you be talking about the process of the civil service, like where it is now, or would you like me to?
You can go ahead.
Okay.
I haven't touched base with Bill, and I was out for a minute, and now I'm finally back. Thank God.
Yes, thank God.
Yeah, thank God. But yeah, go ahead, and I'll just follow up on anything that I may know that he may have said to me, if there is anything.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna start with a little education. In Pennsylvania, there's about 4 different types of municipalities. There's Philadelphia, which is a city of the first class. In Philadelphia is different from, say, a township government. A township government is different from a Collingdale government. We are what's called a borough. In Philadelphia, they're mostly ruled by what they call a home rule charter, meaning they mostly make up their own rules within the limitations of Pennsylvania's law and constitution. On the next side of that is a township. Townships can either be township ruled or they have their own home rule charter as well. There's very few home rule charters, boroughs in the state of Pennsylvania. We are ruled and governed by what's called the Borough Code, Title 8. Any borough that wants to hire police or have their own police force must hire through a civil service process. They must have a commission of 3 electorates, meaning you gotta be a voter. And they gotta be, only one of them is allowed to be part of the local board. Now here in Collingdale, we have David Lee Robinson, who is also a commissioner. He was a commissioner before getting elected to council. So he has continued his role on the commission. The other 2 electors is the chair of the commission, Bill Mellon, and the vice chair, Lamont Brooks. The council cannot just hire full-time police officers. And that is what we're focusing on now at this point. The Civil Service Commission has reached a point where they have presented a list. They have completed the physical exam. They have completed the written exam, which is called a Nelson-Denny test. I have to look to the chief, make sure I got that name right.
Yeah.
They are outside of the council in their vetting process. The civil service have presented the list of candidates that showed up for the test. We started the process with about maybe 15 candidates after some very unfortunate and manipulative factors standing in the way of our hiring process, namely Jack Stahlsteimer's interference in our hiring practices, as well as the FOP president, Chris Eisman, and I stand on that we have reached a point where a list has been presented to myself and will be, I just got it the other day. Have to turn it over to council as well, but I'm waiting for more information from the Civil Service Commission, namely the packet of information, because all I have is names on the list. So I need to turn all of that over to the council. Then the council has to schedule interviews with each of the candidates. Then we will hold a public vote for each of the candidates that we want to hire. Go ahead, Mr. Rose.
When you mean by public vote, is to the masses or is to you within your circle?
Everything the council does has to be in the public. If there's 4 council people together,
So it's a public vote, but you guys
Yes.
vote, okay.
anytime we're making a decision for the borough, it has to be in front of the public. It has to be duly advertised to the public, and it must have public comments.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Who's doing the background checks?
the borough is going with a third-party vendor. We have found that Delaware County has a deep-seated problem with corruption, especially with people of color. So we're kicking it out of Delaware County to a trusted third party to take care of our background checks.
So
And
am I
drug
gonna be
screenings.
Part of this background check, am I going to get to talk to these police officers?
You'll be talking to them with the council.
Am I going to have a list of their background?
You will have the same packet that the council gets.
I just don't want another menagerie like we have with Officer Darden to happen.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Mr. Officer Darden. It is quite unfortunate that certain entities went to that kind of lengths. And if I'm gonna talk about anything that's in the public, what I know is that NBC 10 reported and showed that there was a court document dated that he was allegedly arrested in 2023. NBC 10 also published the criminal complaint. The criminal complaint had no dates filed on that criminal complaint. And I'm not an officer, but I do know that when somebody's arrested, that's when a criminal complaint is supposed to be filled out. There was nothing in Officer Darden's background check, nothing. We have the receipts, triple copies of it, twice ran, properly filed in multiple locations with proof of that. I can tell you that there was nothing until January 16th. I will tell you that from a citizen's point of view that, I pay attention, I read. The PSP and the Delco DAs, don't look like they got their paperwork in order. And I stand on that also. From the standpoint of the borough, we follow the law. We understand what we're doing. Anybody that says that we don't, they don't know what they're talking about. For public safety, we are doing everything to fill our ranks with qualified officers. Somebody said think it was about 2 years ago. Well, you're hiring a police officer, you're making an investment, and they're making an investment in the community. And that's what we want. We wholeheartedly believe in community policing. We want to connect with our police.
Yes.
We want to talk to them daily, say hi. The officers that we have now, it's my hope that they're invested in the community still, as we have invested in them. And with that, who's next?